Breaking news tonight on the mysterious disappearance of two Toledo teens. The Lucas County coroner has confirmed the bodies found in the rubble of the Chase Street fire are those of Kamarion Wilder and KyShawn Pittman. 13 ABC's Willie Danley is live with the latest. Willie.
Christian, there's no good news in the case of those two missing Toledo teen boys. Yesterday, authorities were searching this burned down property behind me where families currently gathering to hold a vigil for them, and they found the remains of two people. Those remains were confirmed today to be those of KyShawn Pittman and Kamarion Wilder.
Shocking news today as 11 individuals have been charged in connection with the horrific kidnapping and torture of teenagers. Let's delve into the disturbing details of the kidnapping and torture of the teenagers. This heinous crime came to light when authorities received a tip from a concerned citizen about suspicious activities in a remote location. Upon investigation, they uncovered a nightmarish scene where the victims, two 16-year-olds, were found bound, gagged, and subjected to unspeakable acts of violence. The severity of the crimes is truly chilling, leaving a community in shock and disbelief.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. We've shared their pictures with you for more than a week and a half now, and these two Toledo teens who were missing are now dead. 15-year-old KyShawn Pittman and 16-year-old Kamarion Wilder. So far, 5 people have been arrested and linked to their kidnapping and or disappearance. And last night, police talked about the case after their bodies were found in a burned down vacant home. They are now confirmed to be Pittman and Wilder. One person is also charged with their murders. Amanda Fay breaks down the timeline of all of this.
15-year-old KyShawn Pittman and 16-year-old Kamarion Wilder were last seen on Saturday, December 3rd. Our cameras were rolling as both families were out searching for them on December 7th.
4 days. It's been 4 days. This too long. Too long. So baby go home. Nothing. We don't know nothing. We just want my brother home. We want to know he okay. He's alive. He not scared, hurt. We just want to know he's okay. Just bring him and Sean home safe.
Our cameras were on again, rolling on Monday, December 5th in the early morning hours. We didn't know it then, but this house fire on Chase Street would be connected to the missing boys 10 days later. Then, the next week on December 13th, 3 people were brought in for police questioning. That is Carissa Eames, Crystal LaFord Jingling, and Corbin Gingrich. They were arrested on obstruction of justice charges in the case and released on bond. Then, thanks to the family talking to WTOL 11, we uncovered there was a connection to at least the Wilder family.
It's my brother's girlfriend's family. It's her grandma, her uncle, and her uncle's girlfriend.
Then to tragic news on December 15th, TPD held a news conference saying 2 bodies were found in the rubble of the house that was burned down on Chase Street. At the time, they did not say the bodies were that of the boys, but they did notify the boys' families. They did confirm the fire was connected to the boys' disappearance.
We're trying to track down every lead we have through every bit of information that we collect ourselves. And, again, we'll take any information we can from the community. If you're a witness or if you know something, call us. I mean, this is tragic.
Also in that news conference, we were told that 2 more people were arrested in this case. 24-year-old Cruz Garcia charged with 2 counts of kidnapping. We've learned those charges have now been upgraded to 2 counts of murder. And 29-year-old Diamond Rivera is facing 1 count of obstruction of justice. Then Toledo Fire and Rescue Chief Allison Armstrong holds a news conference on Friday to address the vacant house fire with the bodies found inside.
Terribly sad. I mean, to know that 2 people are deceased now and families are mourning and hurting, and that's terrible. So I'm terribly sad for the families, and it's just an unfortunate situation.
We have more team coverage coming up for you on WTOL 11 News next at 6.
Breaking news tonight on the mysterious disappearance of 2 Toledo teens. The Lucas County coroner has confirmed the bodies found in the rubble of the Chase Street fire are those of Kamarion Wilder and KyShawn Pittman. 13 ABC's Willie Danley is live with the latest. Willie.
Christian, there's no good news in the case of those two missing Toledo teen boys. Yesterday, authorities were searching this burned down property behind me where families currently gathering to hold a vigil for them, and they found the remains of two people. Those remains were confirmed today to be those of KyShawn Pittman and Kamarion Wilder.
I don't believe you guys are aware yet, but there were two deceased persons that we've found in that house so far.
Kamarion Wilder and KyShawn Pittman disappeared December 3rd after leaving a party at Maumee State Park. Police say the two were asked to leave because one of the boys had a gun. They got into a silver SUV set up by another juvenile and have not been seen or heard from since. Thursday, Toledo police, FBI, and Ohio BCI searched the remains of a house that burned down on Chase Street 2 days after the boys' disappearance. In the rubble, they found two bodies. Police Lieutenant Dan Gerken had to relay that information to the boys' families.
Talked to both of them prior to coming here to tell them what we knew. I feel terrible for them, but they're doing okay. I don't know what else to say other than I feel terrible for them.
Toledo Fire and Rescue was on scene December 5th fighting the flames, but due to safety concerns, they could only fight the fire from a distance.
We were not able to get to the basement area because of the issues with the stairs, because of the hidden fire and the danger to putting somebody in that basement area, not, them being able to get back out. So the incident commander made that decision, and his intentions were to go back after the fire was extinguished and make sure those areas were checked. And unfortunately, they just didn't have that ability.
24-year-old Cruz Miguel Garcia has been charged with 2 counts of murder, and 29-year-old Diamond Rivera was arrested and charged with obstruction of justice in relation to the case. Gerken says police know the two are not the only ones who should be in custody.
There's more people involved, and we're trying to track down every lead we have through every bit of information that we collect ourselves.
Lieutenant Gerken says that this case is far from closed. Toledo police are asking anyone with any information to call or text Crime Stoppers. That number is 419-255-1111. Reporting live in Toledo, Willie Danley, 13 ABC, Action News.
Well, we continue to follow a developing story. 10 people now are behind bars, all charged in connection to the kidnapping and killing of 2 Toledo teens. Family members last saw 16-year-old
Kamarion Wilder and 15-year-old KyShawn Pittman alive December 3rd. They reported them missing 2 days later on December 5th. That's the same day firefighters responded to a burning vacant home on Chase Street.
Having hope that he will come home is alive. Well, that's what's keeping us going. Just hope to see him again.
That hope would fade days later on December 9th when police searched a home on Maumee Avenue and found evidence the boys were there, along with blood. Carissa Eames owned the home. Police charged her and 2 others, Crystal LaForge Yingling and Corbin Gingrich, with obstructing justice December 13th. Investigators find the teens' bodies inside the demolished house on Chase December 15th.
Closure for not knowing for so long and going 2 weeks with not knowing anything. I feel like, no, it doesn't make it any better, but it feels better to know that they're not just out here or suffering.
More closure would come that day when police arrested Cruz Garcia and charged him with killing the boys. But detectives were not done.
There's more people involved, and we're trying to track down every lead we have through every bit of information that we collect ourselves. And, again, we'll take any information we can from the community.
And track them down they have. On Wednesday, a Lucas County grand jury indicted 6 people on murder and kidnapping charges: Cruz Garcia, Corbin Gingrich, Brent Kohlhofer, Charles Walker, Carissa Eames, and Don Eames.
My understanding from speaking with Detective Marchak on one of the decedent's cause of death involved strangulation and thermal burns, and on the second victim, thermal burns, and we're still waiting further analysis and determination by the coroner.
The court also indicted Crystal LaForge Yingling and Diamond Rivera on 1 count of obstructing justice. Then, Thursday, another arrest and another charge. This time, a 17-year-old male also charged with murder. And now on Friday, a 10th person, a 14-year-old male, also charged with murder and kidnapping.
set today for 3 people facing murder and kidnapping charges in the deaths of 16-year-old Kamarion Wilder and 15-year-old KyShawn Pittman.
Our cameras were rolling as Cruz Garcia, Corbin Gingrich, and Carissa Eames entered the courtroom. Each had their bonds set, all of them over $2 million each. They were all sent back to jail. All three are due back in court later this month. Charles Walker and Brent Kohlhofer are due back in court tomorrow morning for a bond hearing. They are also facing murder and kidnapping charges in the teen's death. Just yesterday, they appeared before a judge and worked out details for legal representation. Two teenagers and Don Eames, they are also facing the same charges. And these two women, Crystal LaForge Yingling and Diamond Rivera, they are due in court later this month. They are charged with obstructing justice in the case. A total of 10 people have been charged in the teens' deaths. And while the three men were in court, a large crowd gathered outside of the Lucas County Common Pleas Courthouse. Protesters seen holding signs reading "Honk for Justice." The crowd wanted to show its support of the two Toledo teens. The group plans to show up for each court hearing tied to their deaths.
The bailiff first read Walker.
Welcome into the 6 o'clock hour. There are verdicts tonight in the trial of Brent. Welcome into the 6 o'clock hour. There are verdicts tonight in the trial of Brent Kohlhofer and Charles Walker. Both are charged with the murders and kidnappings of two teens in December of 2022. Megan Hartnett joins us live from the courthouse. Megan, what did you learn today?
Kaylee, after 8 days of hearing testimony, hearing from over 30 witnesses, and close to 15 hours of deliberations, the jury came back with a verdict. The bailiff first read Walker's convictions. Walker was found not guilty of one count of aggravated murder. He was found guilty of one count of aggravated murder, 2 counts of murder, and 2 counts of kidnapping. Kohlhofer was found not guilty of the first count of aggravated murder. He was found guilty of 1 count of aggravated murder, 2 counts of murder, and 2 counts of kidnapping. Kohlhofer and Walker are just 2 of 11 people facing charges in relation to this case. Kamarion Wilder and KyShawn Pittman were last seen on December 3rd, 2022, and their bodies were found in a burned house on December 15th of 2022. Both Kohlhofer and Walker are expected to be back in court for sentencing on June 3rd at 1 p.m. Kaylee?
Megan, do we know how much prison time these two men are facing?
Because they were both found guilty of 1 count of aggravated murder, they are both potentially facing a life sentence. Reporting in Toledo, Megan Hartnett, WTOL 11.
People facing charges in the murder of 2 Toledo teens was sentenced today. Court documents say Cruz Garcia will serve 20 to 25 years in prison. He pleaded guilty in January on 2 counts of kidnapping and 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Nearly a dozen people were convicted in the teens' deaths of Kamarion Wilder and KyShawn Pittman. The teens' bodies were found in a burned down home in North Toledo in December of 2022.
Like what it do, ayy, I just put a 2 shawty swerving into that cool,